Greetings of peace and love, everybody. This is Djehuty back at you again. And yes, I know it has been a minute since I have recorded a video. I have been very busy with my library, which is what I'm going to talk about in this particular video. Bear with me as I clean my anti-blue light glasses. These are anti-blue light glasses that I must wear when I am recording for purposes of protecting my eyes. Now, in all due honesty, I am used to recording without them. So if you remember the videos from 2011 up until 2013, I never wore any type of glasses except for the pinhole readers, which are technically not glasses, but those are the only devices that I would wear when recording videos. I need to do something with this phone because even though I have it on vibrate, I can hear it vibrate and it annoys me. But at the same time, being a very busy man and also, having children, I have my son, so I always keep my phone near me or nearby, just in case, just in case. So far, so good, but you never know. I like to be available, especially for so-called emergencies. But anyway, I got my glasses on, and so now I'm able to see what I'm saying. No, the anti-blue glasses are something that I will be wearing when I record for purposes of protecting my eyes because I've done good. I've really done good over the years protecting my health while doing my work. And my work involved making a lot of videos. I made over 800 videos that were uploaded to the former YouTube channel that underdeveloped people, selfish underdeveloped people, got removed. That channel was full of information. I mean, there were certain videos, where I went ham, as the people used to say. But still, so many nuggets dropped, so many gems. With me, it's all about educating, informing, enlightening. But there was nothing on that channel, worthy of having it removed. It did far, 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 far more good than any harm. And any harm it did was to people who were already harmed and had issues with the truth. See, when you have situations of people having issues with content, it's really because something is hitting home and they don't want to deal with it. They're not ready to deal with it, but in most cases they don't want to deal with it. So these people, their mentality is, we'll just make the channel go away. To hell with all the people benefiting from the information. It's all about me. I don't like the content. So the channel, the vehicle of the content has to go because it's all about little old me. And when that content goes, I'm not going to step up and take that dude's place and feed the people. I'm just going to do me, which is pretty much nothing, or things that will keep me mediocre. It's the way of the world with the masses of the people, underdeveloped. And the more underdeveloped people are, the more harm they're going to do. The more unskillful challenges they're going to cause. And that's just the way of the world. We deal with it. Developed people, we deal with the world. We deal with things as they are. We navigate. We navigate the waters of the matrix. And we have to, because there are a lot of unhealthy bodies, unhealthy individuals out there in those waters. So we have to navigate, and not just navigate, but wisely navigate. There was a file drive with the videos recorded on them. The recorded videos were stored on this file that I believe I got from Mateo and Eric, that had all of the videos that were on YouTube installed on it, but that was lost. Technically not lost, but stolen. Stolen during the divorce. You know, again, one individual. It's all about me, the individual. To hell with the people. But as a believer in karma, I let the universe deal with those individuals in those particular actions that have deprived hundreds of thousands of people their food, their nourishment. I'm talking about mental, intellectual food, mental, intellectual nourishment. You could add spiritual to the mix as well. Mental, intellectual, spiritual nourishment. But it's all good. It's all good. That was the past. Today is the present. And that's where I choose to stay. So, now that I have on my anti-blue glasses, well, let me explain why I wear the anti-blue glasses and why other health-conscious people should consider wearing the anti-blue glasses. The computer is a great creation. However, like most other things invented and being in existence in our modern world, our modern day world, the world at present, the computer too is a left brain invention. No matter how great the innovation or the creation, which is a product, no matter how great it is, because it was created from the left side of the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, indirectly, the technology, the invention or the innovation does damage. They are insalubrious. They are not good for health. They are harmful to human health. Even though they assist us and help us in many areas of life, the side effect is harm. But again, it is what it is. That's just how it is. Those inventions are created from the left side of the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, which deals with logic, reason, calculation. It's the mathematical side of the brain. It's the mathematical genius side of the brain. Whereas the right side of the brain, the right hemisphere of the brain, is creative, it is artistic, it is childlike, it's pure. So when we create from the right side of the brain, those inventions, those technologies or products, they will be helpful to humanity. They will help us, they will aid us without harming us. And see, that's the difference between left brain innovations and right brain innovations. We don't have a lot of right brain innovations on the scene today. They exist, but in most cases, they have been suppressed. They are suppressed. I was having a dialogue with a person who was promoting left brain inventions. Her position was anytime we're in an airplane or using a microwave oven or receiving so-called life-saving medication, there was about 17 other things. It was a list of 20 things. And this particular individual was saying that we have white people to thank for those things. So the next time we are utilizing them or riding on them, we need to think about the white inventors of those innovations. And true, in all trueness, those inventions are great, but they are left brain innovations. I don't have a problem giving credit where credit is due. I don't care nothing about the race, who the inventor was. What I care about is the invention. Does the invention do good for humanity without doing harm? Because can you really do good while you're also doing harm? There appears to be a canceling effect when you have such. And so when you deal with the airplane, which is a great invention, it plays a role in convenience, speeding things up. It does. It gets us from point A to B, no matter the distance, far faster than if we were on a boat or a ship or a liner, an ocean liner. So you do have to give credit to the airplane, to the innovators, the inventors of the airplane. You have to give credit, I think, because of what they do for us and how they allow us to travel in faster amounts of time. But nevertheless, the airplane is a left brain invention. So indirectly, we get harm from the airplane. We are exposed to radiation, recycled air. Without an ozone machine, we're taking in recycled air that consists of particles from the passengers, whether the particles are from the mouth or from the nose. It's part of the recycled air in an airplane, unless there's an ozone machine. We're not big on ozone machines today, which just happened to be in the category of noble technology, noble innovation, because the ozone machine does good. Now, some people, being technical, would say that the ozone machine does harm because you can't inhale it. Well, first of all, the ozone machine is not to be put before the human nose, because if ozone goes in through the nose, it'll burn the lungs, but it wasn't made for that. So even though it's noble technology, there's a way to use it. And when you use it the right way, there is zero harm. An ozone machine or an oxygen generator does good because it purifies the air. An ozone machine or generator does what nature does. It does what nature does. You see, after a thunderstorm, a rainstorm with thunder, when it ceases and you go outside, it smells oh so fresh. People, that is because of ozone. The lightning bolts during the thunderstorm, the lightning bolts during a thunderstorm splits open molecules of O2. the lightning bolt splits them, separates them. So O2 becomes O1. Those O1 molecules then latch on to existing O2 molecules and becomes O3. O2 is oxygen. O3 is ozone, which is enhanced oxygen. Enhanced oxygen. Nature's deodorizer. This is why it smells so fresh after a thunderstorm. Nature is purifying. Nature is deodorizing, and Lord knows she needs to because of what humanity has done from the left side of the brain with the left brain innovations or creations. Yes, they provide us convenience. They make life a tad bit or a tidbit easier. A little easier. In some cases, a lot easier. However, there's a price to pay. And that's what's going on. So, when nature blesses us with a thunderstorm, she is helping us in our dealing with the side effect of that which has been created from the left brain. So, the airplane, which is a great invention, but what comes out of the airplane? What comes out of the airplane that is now in the environment, in the atmosphere? Now we know anything with a motor that's moving and that is fueled by gasoline is going to have exhaust. So yeah, that. But speaking in a way that exposes that which is nefarious, yeah, the airplane will spew out the exhaust, and lots of it. Man, we're talking hundreds and thousands of miles, and it has to go somewhere. But there's a nefarious component that's really not a normal side effect of airplanes. This is more intentional. Doesn't have to be. It's not a byproduct of the function of the invention, of the innovation, in this case, the airplane. So in addition to the exhaust, airplanes also spew out, this is on purpose, the chemicals that we know are called chemtrails. Now the airplane is already left brain invented. And I can tell you this, the people who created the chemicals that cause the chemtrails created from the left brain, because those things are no good for humanity. See, when you do your due diligence, when you do your research, you're going to find out that the things that have caused harm to planet Earth and that is causing harm to planet Earth, that's humanity, the animals, insects, everything, comes from the left brain. Comes from the left brain. And the things that do good comes from the right brain. We don't have a lot of right brain created innovations today. We don't have a lot of right brain created technology. One of the reasons why I'm wearing the anti-blue glasses is because the inventors of the computer, I'm using a Mac, an Apple, which is an awesome device, but it came from geniuses who were left brain oriented. Therefore, the material used to make the anti-blue glasses, the material, is not in the computer because of that left brain mentality. Fragmentation falls under left brain. So when you deal with, let me put these bad boys back on. Now, when you deal with the left brain, those who create from the left brain, these individuals think in terms of fragmentation. Now, they're geniuses, no doubt, but they think in terms of fragmentation. And especially when we're dealing with the Western world, which is predicated upon capitalism, snaps. See, a left brain innovator or creator will create something that is awesome, but it'll lack. It'll lack because of the fragmentation aspect of that side of the brain. There's going to be some type of fragment. Something's going to be missing. And yeah, it could be intentional. It could be unintentional. But nevertheless, something is going to be missing. And usually that which is beneficial. See, myself as a right brain individual who is not into technology at all, but I'm just going to make a point here, or attempt to. If I made the computer, knowing all that I know about the computer and the side effects of the computer, every computer screen would have in the material of the anti-blue lights. Every computer would contain diodes to protect against radiation. Every computer would have black and brown stones or dark colored stones, gemstones, crystals, black tourmaline, black obsidian, jet, onyx, whatever, smoky quartz, just dark colored stones would be in the computer. Activated charcoal would be in the computer. Seaweed, kelp, dulse would be in the computer. And when I say in the computer, I'm talking about components, not in their natural state. I wouldn't have activated charcoal or powder in a computer, but I would have parts of the computer made out of activated charcoal to have it in the computer. It would be made out of seaweed to have in the computer. They would be made out of gemstone, crystals, to be in the computer to protect the user from harm. It will protect the user from radiation. See, this is where our eyes get so weak when we are in front of the computer and for hours. And I feel for people who, because of a job, 9 times out of 10 because of a job, in some cases, a job is not involved. Maybe I shouldn't even say 9/10 when I think about the gamers. So at least half the people who are in front of a computer for extended amounts of time, they're doing that because of a job. They have to make snaps because they are making a living. And then you have the young people, the teenagers, the people who are into gaming, and other things, but mostly gaming. They spend a lot of time before the computer as well. So when you look at how many people in the world depend on or rely upon the computer, man, it's a lot. So a lot of people are being harmed in using a device for whatever reason, business or pleasure, leisure. Harm is being done. Harm outside of the benefit, because, we get to email now and, get to do all these other things, communicate with people and send videos and send photos. And, so it most definitely has its benefits, its advantages. But I'm speaking about the harm. I'm speaking about the harm that most people are oblivious to. Most people are oblivious to the harm that is done. So you have a lot of people, you see a lot of people periodically doing this. It's pressure in the brain. For a lot of people, they're dealing with headaches. They come from extended amounts of time before a computer screen. So you see the people periodically doing this. Certain people, have issues with the eyes. Their eyes are strained because the human eyes were not meant to be before a computer. See, it gets challenging after a while because, see, it appears that you're attacking Western civilization, Western innovations, and you're not. And I'm not, at least I'm not. But when you're holistic and when you're panoramic, you see everything. This is why you hear me talk about the good and the bad, not just the bad. Now, I know there are people out there who just talk about the bad. I get it. But I'm not that individual. I'm an individual of balance. Balance. Because that's the key to success, to life on planet Earth. Because planet Earth is a planet of duality, polarity, two sides. We have two sides. See, you have north, south, east, west, man, woman, white, black, up, down. Planet Earth is a planet of duality, polarity. And this is why we have so many issues on planet Earth as well. Because it is the only planet that is fourth ray zoned energy. And fourth ray zone energy denotes order out of chaos. It is governed by the Taurus-Scorpio axis energy of power. That's planet Earth. And when you understand that, you'll understand planet Earth. Many times people say, Djehuty, how did you come up with such a command of life? You don't stress, you don't worry, you don't bitch and complain about the things that most people do. You're a black man in America and you don't talk this victim consciousness talk. You don't talk this come up, get over talk and this tribal talk. You just live life, and you're always happy. You're always talking about life is beautiful. It feels good to feel good, which it does. You're always saying these little things. You're always tweeting, or is the word Xing now, because Twitter has changed its name to X. But I would hear from people, you're always tweeting these things. And so much is going on in the world. What's the secret? I mean, it's really no secret. It's just knowing and understanding. Planet Earth has fourth ray zone energy. Order out of chaos. This is why on planet Earth we have order and we have chaos. And those who are in control, who understand the laws of the universe, they understand planetary law and work them masterfully, successfully, they understand order out of chaos. So these people know how to create the chaos in order to get order, and not necessarily an order that benefits humanity, not necessarily. Because there is an unskillful type of order, which is what we have in the world today, specifically in the Western world, which is the most controlled part of planet Earth, because of quote unquote civilization. Now, when you do your due diligence into occult studies, you learn that civilization really means enslavement. Enslavement. Get off into etymology and you will learn so much. This is why to this very day, I enjoy learning. I study every day, and I still study words. I still study word origins, word histories, etymology. To this very day, you learn so much. And so when you understand that civilization really means enslavement, right? It's enslavement under an illusion. You guys have heard the saying, right? That the best type of slave, sometimes they say the worst type of slave, but in most cases you hear the best type of slave for the rulers, for the controllers, is the slave that does not know he or she is a slave. They don't even know they're enslaved. So they make the best slaves because they think they're free while they're enslaved. But whether we say, the worst slave or the best slave, we have to look at the fact that there is a type of slavery where the enslaved person does not even know he or she is enslaved and in or under a system of slavery. It does exist. And for the most part, the Western world is the perfect example. Because when we think of Western world, what do we think about? Civilization. And anything that is non-Western is what? Savage, barbaric, wild. But when we get into the etymology, man, we learn. We learn that people that we deem to be uncivilized and thus wild, out in the wild, they're wild. Those people are really free. Because when you look up the word wild, it means free. Anything that grows in the wild is not barbaric or savage, it's just free. A wildfire. And I can understand a wildfire being seen as barbaric or savage because, just going through everything and just burning up everything in its path. I get that. But that fire is free to move in the direction that it is moving in. So wild means free. A wild animal is not savage or barbaric in the sense that we, attribute it to the tiger, the lion, and the leopard, and all of these animals in the wild. Wild horses, wild pigs or boars. We have all of these beautiful animals in the wild. We call those animals wild animals. They're not civilized. We don't call dogs and cats domesticated animals, pets. We don't call them wild. But in nature, those animals are wild. The snake, and the tiger, the lion, the alligator, all of the creatures in the wild animals, wild life. And what does it really mean, people? They're free. They're free to roam around in their natural habitat, doing what they do. And yeah, we see the carnivore eat the vegetarian animal and the stronger animal devour the weaker animal. And to us as humans, it looks bad. But there's balance. Remember, I spoke about balance a few minutes ago. Balance. There's balance in the wild. So even though these type of things happen, they're not bad or harmful for wildlife. They're not bad or harmful for humanity, for the planet. There's still a balance, no matter what goes on. I'm seeing a lion or a tiger rip a zebra to shreds for food purposes, right? For sustenance. Nature makes so much sense, man, compared to man, who has the potential. But there's balance in what they do because their actions never create an imbalance. Animals in the wild, the carnivores, they don't kill just to kill like humans, like civilized human beings do. They don't do that. They kill for food. They kill for food. I've noticed that animals in the wild don't even kill to protect the tribe. They'll fight. But usually it's never to the death. I know in some cases that does exist. You see that with the scorpion. Scorpion will take your behind out. So there's always the exception to the rule, but generally speaking, animals in the wild, animals in the wild who fight to protect, to defend, they don't kill. They do enough to get the predator, the opponent, to back away. Animals. You know, this is why the book of Job, I believe it's chapter 12, verse 7 through 10, instructs man to learn from the planet, to learn from wildlife. Speak unto the earth, and the earth will speak to thee. And ignorant, underdeveloped people are probably scratching their head, talking about, saying to themselves, how in the hell am I going to speak to the planet and it's going to speak back to me? Well, when you know that the language of planet Earth is symbolism, then it begins to make sense. The earth speaks to us every day in symbolic form, symbols. And yes, numbers too are symbols. There's an argument amongst people, not a lot, but a few, who argue over what's the language of the universe, what's the language of the planet. And some say mathematics and numbers. Some people say symbols. And technically, they're both correct when you understand that numbers too are symbols. Numbers too are symbols. But our planet, our Earth, speaks to us in symbolic form. The book of Job goes on to say, ask the beasts of the field and they will teach thee. Now we're being instructed to ask animals, wildlife, to teach us. Civilized man, civilized woman, humanity. That book goes on to instruct us to ask or inquire of the birds, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea. They're supposed to declare unto us. But there's wisdom in that for those of us who have eyes to see and ears to hear. This planet is awesome when you understand it. Fourth ray energy, fourth ray zone energy. Fourth ray energy or fourth ray zone energy. Zone means that there are other zones. There's the third ray, the second ray, the fifth ray, the sixth ray. Planet Earth just happens to be the fourth ray. Order out of chaos. And when you understand that, man, life makes so much sense, man. Even with relationships, peace, order, then chaos, arguments, drama. This planet Earth, you cannot escape from it. You have to learn it. And you have to coexist with it. And this is why the spiritual practices, of meditation and Tai Chi and all of those other subtle exercises are so beneficial because they help us to stay balanced on a planet of duality and or polarity. Fourth ray zone energy, order out of chaos. That's our planet, and it's manipulated every day, especially in the civilized world, which is, now we know that it's the enslaved world. Yeah, we have all of our luxuries and things like that, but these are things to distract us. Oh, yeah, we get benefit. We short term, in some cases long term. We have convenience, but when you're developed, man, you see in holistic fashion. You know that inconvenience is inconvenience, one word. Inconvenience, two words, I-N, and then convenience. And then you have inconvenience, which is one word. So inconvenience is inconvenience. And you know that when your power goes out and you don't have access to the internet or your computer, you are inconvenienced. These gadgets of convenience, when they're working and, everything is normal, convenience. And when they shut down or go down, there's inconvenience. Elevators, escalators, convenient. But when they stop working, when they go down, it's inconvenience because you got to walk up those stairs. Elevator's not working. Escalator's not working. So inconvenience is inconvenience. And so when you're cultivated, when you're developed enough, especially spiritually, you begin to look at everything in a holistic fashion. And so you can take the Apple computer and say, wow, that's a great invention. But at the same time, it's going to harm my eyes. I have to purchase a pair of anti-blue glasses. I have to have crystals. I have a nice big piece of lapis lazuli in front of my computer to protect my eyes. You know, periodically, I take these off and I just stare at the lapis lazuli for 1 minute, and it purifies the radiation film above my eyes. That if I don't clear or cleanse, my eyes become weak. My eyes will become very, very weak over time if I don't take care of them, if I don't purify the radiation film or fog, which does develop. This is why a lot of people, man, when they get away from the computer, man, they feel it. They feel drained, they feel zapped. A lot of people report headaches. A lot of people report headaches. A lot of people can't sleep at night. I can make a whole video about the adverse effects of the quote-unquote smart devices. That's a whole nother topic, smart devices. Man, let me tell you, humanity has never been this dumb. Ironically, in an age that is called smart, the smart age, we are dumbest in the age known as or called the smart age. Smart age, but humanity is becoming dumber and also more dependent in a smart age. For some of us who understand, and I think I need to segue into the topic of the video, which is the library, because I've already utilized 42 minutes. I have to end this video about an hour at the hour mark. I don't know where I am with certain platforms as far as length of videos. So I don't want to take a chance to make a long video that I have difficulty in uploading. So if I keep it to 1 hour, I'm good to go, whether that's Mighty Networks, or whether that's YouTube, or what have you. But yeah, I'll segue into the library part, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And it's not important or what have you. It just really explains what I've been doing in the past several months that you haven't seen me. I've been on the scene. I'm always on the scene. I'm just behind the scenes these days. My guardian, I should say my earth angel. I have certain guardian earth angels, or earth angels who are guardian angels who guard me. Well, you know what this dude is. Yeah, I would have to say Ace was an earth angel of the guardian fold. Yeah, I would have to because Ace benefited me greatly. And it was Harold Acey who told me to work from behind the scenes. He said, Djehuty, you have more planets in the bottom part of your chart than the top part. So people who have more planets, more activity in the top part of their chart, which is the sun, you know, the visible part, they're going to excel. It works for them. They have more planets there, so more activity. So they need to be out front. They need to be in the limelight. They need to be out in public. Well, Djehuty, you have more in the bottom part, the dark part, the hidden part, which we would say the invisible part, right? Visible, invisible, light, dark. Again, duality. So because of that, I made the switch years ago to quote unquote go underground, which was really just getting into the groove of working with my personal chart. The bottom part of my chart It just represents that it's going to be better for me to work from behind the scenes. Now, I was above the scenes, right? I got some midheaven activity that requires me to, that did require me to be out front. Or even if I chose, because remember, astrology only impels, it doesn't compel. So even though I work best from behind the scenes, I can make a choice to work above the scenes if I wanted to, you know. Now, I would meet with certain challenges because I will be going against that, you know, which is in my chart that works best for me. I could ignore that and go against that, and I could still make it work. I could still be successful, what have you, but I'm going to pay a price, you see. So it's like veering from a road. You have a paved road, and then you veer off into an unpaved road. You still make it. You can still travel, but there's going to be bumps. You know, there's going to be bumps along the way, whereas the paved road is smooth, you see. And because I deal with so much, in all due honesty, I choose smoothness. Lord knows I choose smoothness, man, because being out front, you know, and dealing with people, I'm not cut out for it. I'm too private. I like to be to myself. I don't like unnecessary problems. And, you know, I look at the world and I look at all the problems in the world and all the problems that people have. And I know that the overwhelming majority of them are preventable. They're preventable, but you have to have knowledge. You have to be conscious. You have to be enlightened. You have to be all of these things to know. Then life makes sense. Like again, you know, like I said, you know, several minutes ago, people asked me, Djehuty, how do you have such a command of life? I study. I've studied so much. I still study, but more importantly, I understand. I'm at the point where I understand everything, which is why I continue to study. But I understand enough whereby life is smooth for me. Not perfect, but smooth. Compared to most, it's smooth. Prevention is better than remedy. You know, I can look at things and know that, hey, this is going to be a problem for me, and not do it. You know, so life is smooth, right? I'm living with wisdom. The biblical definition of wisdom is the ability to live life skillfully. I'm living life skillfully. I've acquired skills, but then I've also incarnated with skills. You too. I'm not a special person. Everything I'm doing, you can do. I'm going to have to make future videos to explain that. That's a whole other video in and of itself. So much to share with the people. And it will get done. Yeah, it will get done. But anyway, man, I've been talking about the left brain, the right brain, and did I finish my point on, oh, let me finish this point right quick about the left brain, right brain. So if I was the inventor of the computer, or even invented a computer, I don't have to be the inventor of the computer. I could make a new computer today. And if I did, it would have noble substances in it. It would be comprised of noble substances, and you wouldn't have to pay additional money for glasses. You wouldn't have to pay for these special cords. And, you know, nowadays they have all of these accessories. You go into the Apple store, you got the great devices, right? The tablet and the laptop, the computer, the desktop. But then there's a accessory part of the store, and they have all these little gadgets. That when you come from the right brain, everything is together. Nothing is fragmented. As I said earlier, the left brain deals with fragmentation. So that's where accessories come from. And then in a capitalistic world, fragmentation leads to profits, additional profits, more profits. So we're in a world where fragmentation is money. Your hospital is fragmented. Your schools are fragmented. Everything, for the most part, is fragmented. And there's a separate fee, maybe a separate appointment, you know, a separate specialist, right? The oncologist, the endocrinologist, the cardiologist, the podiatrist, the optometrist. The human body has been fragmented. It has been compartmentalized, physically compartmentalized. All these different parts. We call them departments. That department, this department, that department, this department. and you're dealing with different people. It gets confusing, you know. And then there's a bill associated with every one of those separate parts. You seen the oncologist. The oncologist issues you a bill. The endocrinologist issues you a bill. The cardiologist issues you a bill. One person, one body, but all of these bills predicated upon organs of the body, right? You got a bill for your liver. You got a bill for your heart. You have a bill for your cells. You have a bill for your eyes. You have a bill for your feet. You have a bill for your ears. You have a bill for your genitalia. The whole body has just been separated, but that's planet Earth. See, that can happen on planet Earth because of the energy. Separation. Man is separated from woman today, especially in the West. Man is separated from woman. The races, white and black, they're separated. The rich and the poor, they're separated. Hell, even politically speaking, Democrats, Republicans, separated. Liberals, conservatives, separated. Crips, Bloods, separated. It's planet Earth, people. You have to understand that. And it's never going to change. It's the energy of planet Earth. And so you have to learn to work with it. This is why I like to go down the middle. That's balance. That's balance. When you look at a scale, what holds the two parts is the middle part. That's the balance. That's the balance. That middle part, the middle ground is the balance. Then you have left, you have right, you see, and they go up and down, which means they can be manipulated. See, but that which holds the two parts of the scale together, the weights, if you will, that's in the middle. It never fluctuates. It stays the same. It's the size of the scale that go up and down that can be manipulated. I choose to stay in the middle, the balance. Now, people, I want to end with the library. I've been so busy with my library, and man, it's going to take a minute. But I say that in skillful fashion, and it's wonderful. It's joyous. I'm receiving psychic income. There's so much elation and joy and passion and zest and zeal and all of those beneficial, positive terms related to my work with this library, which is my labor of love. It is my labor of love. And I've been working on it probably for maybe a year and a half. And one of the reasons why it does take a long time for me is because while I'm organizing, I also get a lot of new books. I'm ordering books every single week. Man, if it's good information, I gotta have it. And so if it's available, I order it. I think it was last year, or maybe a year and a half ago, I invested about $12,000 to $13,000 on books about Hitler, the Third Reich, the National Socialists. I mean, just stuff that was just hidden, stuff that I just didn't know. And then when I purchased these books and read them for myself, I'm like, man, you just feel so good because, I mean, you're in a little small class that knows the truth, and the majority of the people are mean man, bad man, and they did this and they did that and they killed people and they all of this stuff here. And when you get the facts and you study the archives, you're like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled. I trusted people without studying for myself, and I walked away not liking certain people because that's what I was inculcated with, whether it was Hollywood, the public fool, or the public school system. I ended up walking away not liking certain people that I've never studied for myself. And so during my World War II studies, which I enjoy, I got caught up into the Third Reich, wanting to know the truth about certain things. And let me tell you, people, man, seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. If you want the truth wants you. And that's what happened to me. These are pinhole readers. This side here broke off. I don't know what happened, but I can still wear them. I've explained about the pinhole readers dozens of times in past videos. But closing out with the library. The library is just so important to me. My library, because my library is 99.9% nonfiction, and I have the best books: politics, conspiracy, history, sociology, sexuality, diet and nutrition, herbalism, you name it, astrology, numerology, metaphysics, mental science. I have it all. Man, it's wonderful. And it's very challenging to study while you're organizing the library, because as I'm organizing, I'm pulling out certain books and I'm perusing, and it's like, man, this is good stuff here. So I'll put a bookmark in it and set it down and just write it down to, read it at a later time. I mean, so much good information, man. And the reason why my library is more important to me now than ever is because of the new normal. Remember, we're in the so-called smart age, but we're dumber than ever. We're dumber than ever. And there are books out on this subject matter, how we're not as intelligent as we used to be. There's a genius shortage. Great books, man. Great books. But it's important for me to study like I used to in the 1990s. While our world has changed so much, and I see where we're going, and comprehension is just down, man. Just understanding is down. Communication is down. Things are just down. And I see that. So I do the opposite. So the things that we have today, everything is digital. Everything is digital. And I see that where we are today, that which is digital has a part in that. So I flip from the digital back into the hard copies, the books, the magazines, the newspapers that I've saved over the years. And if they're still available, I get those and I study those. The physical dictionary. I'm in the physical dictionary. Yes, I use my notes on my phone, but I'm into the physical dictionary and I take notes, paper notes. I do the things that got me to the point where I am now. So even though the world is changing, Djehuty Maharaj straight, I'm not becoming dumber. I'm getting smarter. I'm becoming more aware, more conscious, if anything. I'm becoming more astute. I'm developing acumen in so many areas. So I'm making it in a changing world that's not changing for the best. And I'll say it here in this video, technology will be the end of us, not because of the technology in and of itself, but because of those who control it and how the technology will be used. I'm not into the digital libraries, digital books, digital music. I have these things, people, but the majority of them exist outside of the digital world, the physical books. You see what's behind me. I don't want no digital oracle cards. I have physical oracle cards. I have physical books, physical DVDs. I don't trust streaming. It exists today, it's gone tomorrow. I saw that with Amazon on the videos about the vaccine, or vaccines in general. Gone. 90% of them are gone, especially if they were of a conspiratorial nature. They're gone. But now what I have in my library, in that back room back there, I got the good stuff. You can't delete that. You can't come in here and take that. Now you can go on a device and delete, but not from my library. You can't come in and tear a page out of a book that's in my library. You can do it digitally, but you can't do it physically, manually, you see. And I understand that.